Hello, hello. I'm a few minutes early, believe it or not. Miracles do happen sometimes. So I just wanted to jump on and make sure everything's working before I get started, because sometimes they're not working. So let's see here. All right, so let's go ahead and get started tonight. I am Kathy Schmitt, and I am the Backyard Stamper, and tonight is episode 2 of my Craft Your Stash series. This is a series that I'm doing every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to go through and craft using some oldies but goldies that I've still been hoarding all these years. So they're some of my favorites, and I hope that it will help you pull your stash out and start crafting again. I do have a free PDF downloadable that will be available on my website, backyardstamper.com, and after the video. So let's make sure I can see everybody. Okay. So this is the set we're going to be using. Oh my gosh. This is such a great set. It's called Toy Box. And back in the day, our wooden stamps came in these clamshell boxes. So, and we had to trim the rubber. So it would come with a sheet of rubber, and we trimmed them all down. And I love to trim mine because I like to get it really close. So, and then I have it labeled on the side. It's a set of 13 stamps, and it's from 2002. So I was going through my cards, and I found this one, and this was made back in the day, and no layering, see, no pop-ups, nothing special. I stamped right on, this is Bliss Blue. I stamped right on the cardstock and did it on the inside as well. So pretty simple card. And I thought, well, you know what? We're going to take it out and we're going to redo it, and I'll just change up a couple of things. So this is the card we're going to be making, and this birthday set is another retired one I'll show you in just a moment. And this is the same card with a twist. Instead of just using a stamp, this is canvas, a background stamp. Instead of using just the stamp, I used an old embossing folder, so it's called Polka Dot. And so I did that with a different greeting. I couldn't find the greeting from my original one, but this one is an old greeting set as well. This one was called Cheery Chat, and it's from 2001. But what was great is it had the outside and the inside to match. I just felt that it was a little big for my area down here, so I switched up to a smaller one. And this one is the same. The only difference I did was I added a little tiny strip of white, and you know, that kind of elevated it a little bit. And I'll show you a neat trick with the ribbon too. So, and on all of them I added the white inside. So here's my inspiration. And here's the card that we're going to make. Oh, and I did my envelope too with the little Martian guy. All right, so let's get out our stamps. And I'm going to do the same ones that I had done before, because I didn't think to bring out different colors and do something different. But I do have some other samples made with Toy Box that I'm going to show you. Okay, so let me put that over here. This is the greeting set. This one is from 2021, Itty Bitty Birthdays. I love these sentiment stamps, and usually I don't get rid of the sentiment stamps, especially one that fits on the skinny strips, because I like to use my scraps up for my sentiments, and these are perfect to do that little cut on the ends and have your sentiment. And I've already mounted what I need. So let's get out my supplies. And the background stamp that I'm going to use is called Canvas. And it's got some texture right here. And we're going to go ahead and stamp our layering piece with that. Okay, so I'm going to have a free PDF. Hi, Cindy. I hope you're feeling better. So I'm going to have a free PDF on my website that has all the measurements, and it's got the layout and then the example of the card that I'm making. Okay, so let's go ahead and get those out. So I need my 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock. I'm just going to fold that and burnish. Oops, let's fold it and make it neat. That would help. Okay, so I've got that piece. And then my layer 2 is a piece that is 5.5 by 4, and it's cut on the diagonal. So let me show you how I did that. So I just took another piece of 8.5 by 5.5, and instead of folding it for the card base, I'm going to show you how I cut this down. You'll be able to get 2 from your card, and you'll have a nice size strip to use after. So I'm just going to make a little tick mark with my scoring blade right at the 4-inch mark. So it's right there. And then I'm going to put my point on the 1-inch line and my mark on my paper in the track. So now I've got 1 by 4. And go ahead and cut that. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to cut my second one. So I'm just going to line these up. That should go right to the 4-inch. Let's see if it does. Yep. And you end up with this nice size piece that you can use as layering or as another card front design. Right, so I've got my piece here. Just move everything that I don't need out of the way. Hi Ian, how you doing? Oh, Cindy, I'm so glad you have my oldie but goldie too. It was great. And when I got this, I had, my son was young, and so I made, you know, cards for all his friends, and it was the perfect little boy set. So I'm just going to ink up my background stamp. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is now this piece is going to go on top like this, so I want to make sure I stamp it upside down, and I'm going to put this right on the line here, trying to get it straight. Okay, and then I'm going to take a little piece of paper here and cover and give it a back rub. Okay, let's see how we did. Yes. All right, so that looks good. Let me set that aside. And I think I'm done with this. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you what color. This is Seaside Spray. That's another retired color, and I have the stamp pad and the refill still, and the blends. I absolutely loved Seaside Spray, so I ended up loading up on the before it fully retired. So I'm going to go ahead and just add some glue to this. Okay, and I am just making sure it goes right at the top. Ooh, got a little glue oozing out. Let me grab my glue mat. I just cleaned off my desk today, and I couldn't get over how much glue I had all over the place on this thing. And I was wiping it, and it looked like, oh, there's nothing coming off. And then I'd run my hand over, and it's like, yeah, because it's all stuck there. So let me just flip it upside down and give it a good press. All right. So that's my layering piece. I'll set that aside for a minute and let that dry. Actually, what I like to do is I like to take a big block and set it on top to help it dry. Put that over here because of the glare. Okay, so I've done layer 1 and 2, and now I need layer 3. And layer 3 is going to be Pear Pizzazz. Let me see if I cut this already. And it's 5 by 1 3/4. Okay. And that is going to hold my squares. So I've got layer 4 are 1.5 inch squares. And let's see here. Let's make sure this is going to fit. Okay, so it's going to fit a little tight, but that's okay. And let me double check that I cut those right, because they are a little bit bigger than I thought they were going to be. So I think, let's see here, I think they are a 16-inch bigger, and I thought, and I knew that when I cut it, but I figured, oh, that 16th inch isn't going to make any difference, and actually it is. So let me just make sure that they are the measurement that's on my sheet, which is 1.5. Okay. Alright, so I fixed my little squares. Now they'll fit a little bit nicer on here, so yeah. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up my stamp and stamp each of my little designs on my square. And I am going to, I re-inked my Memento Black, but I still want to stamp several times to really condition the stamps. I found that my stamps were a little dry, so I like to clean them with the Scrubby and the Mist Cleaner, which helps condition them, I think. Okay, so that one came out good. Let's do our dinosaur, and we'll test that guy. Oh yeah, that one's doing really good. I just want to, had a little bit of a rough edge right there from my trimmer, so I just wanted to smooth it down before I stamp it so I don't make it blurry. Okay, and one more. Let's do the same thing on this one. Now I got my robot. When we're done with this card, I made the same exact layout using current stamps, so you'll see how versatile the layout is. Okay, that is all good. And then we're going to just, let me set that aside for a minute. Let's do our inside. That way, once I clean my stamp, I'm all set. So for this itty bitty birthday, I did happy birthday. It's sure to be a fun day. Both of them on the same stamping block. So I'm going to stamp them at the same time. Let me test it. All right. I'm so excited. I went over 500 subscribers. Yay! I'm up to 501. I'm so excited. It's the little things. All right. So I've got that. And I'm going to do my little Martian guy on the inside. I think this guy is really cute. It reminds me of the Toy Story little Martian guys, doesn't it? Oh, that was such a good movie. All of them were, actually. Sometimes the sequels aren't as good, but these were good. All right, I'm just going to do a quick cleaning up because I'm using that black. Yesterday when I was making my samples, I had the black ink everywhere. And I rubbed them on my sweatpants saying, oh, it doesn't matter, they'll be fine. Well, now my sweatpants have black stains on them. It didn't wash out like I thought it was gonna, so whoopsies. All right, so we'll glue that in a minute. Let's go ahead and do our coloring. And so I just picked some, bright colors. I'm going to use my Granny Apple Green. This is light and dark. Let's see here on my dinosaur. This is pretty straightforward coloring. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with my dark Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to go around the edges. I like the darker better than the light actually, so I'm going to go a little heavy with the dark. Okay, and then I'll come back in with the light and just kind of blend those out. Okay, and then for the scales, I'm going to use light old olive, because then it's a deep green and it shows up like a different green than what's on his body. And they filled in kind of with the black, so I didn't have to do too much work for that. And then I'm just going to do these two little things there. So he's done. Let's do the Martian, and I'm going to color him in with Granny Apple Green. And let's see here, let's see what my coloring looks like. Alright, so this is Pale Papaya. I think it's the dark pale papaya, and then I have Calypso Coral that I'm going to do the little trim of the spacecraft. And I'll fill in these little dots. We don't know what they are, but they look cute. And then I'm just going to take my light Seaside spray and color in the blue back here. And I'm going to do some dark smoky slate for the feet on here and the antenna ball. There. So that one's done. Okay, so now this one, I had the hardest time trying to decide what color should a robot be. And so I decided I did the light gray granite, and then I mixed in all the other colors that I'm using here. So not too imaginative, but it works. I'm sure that this card will go to a little kid who really isn't going to pay that much attention to what color I colored him. Okay, so I did that. And then I'm going to take my dark Seaside spray and color in some trim. And we'll just do all the areas of trim. Okay, and we'll do that and that. Okay, and then I'm going to use my light pale papaya and do that, and my little heart, and come in with the dark smoky slate. Oops, I don't need that side. I just want to do his wheels down here. Okay, and I think it looks like I did a little tiny bit of blue in there. There. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and put these on. And let's see, I have this one, and that one. Like that. Let's see here. I'm going to try to put enough glue on so they stick, but that I can still reposition if I need to, which I probably will. So I'm going to start with my outside, and I know I need to have a healthy margin on the outside because of the ribbon. So I'm going to try to eyeball those two, and I can come in a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going with that one. Hopefully I didn't come in too far. We will make it work no matter what. We're not afraid of tearing it apart. Okay. Alright, and then this guy here is a little crooked. Put him back out a little bit. This is where the fuss budgety stuff comes in, right? Okay, that looks pretty good. Pretty good, as long as they're straight. Okay, good enough, right? It's a little crooked in the middle, but let's see if I can just straighten him out. There. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put our our card together. I want to stamp on the outside. This is another one from the Itty Bitty Birthday. And let me test that one. And I liked how it's small because I didn't want to put my... Oh, I was talking and that's alright. It's going to have to be alright. I could take my black marker and fill that in, but I think it's okay. But if you didn't like it, that's when that extra piece comes in handy. That extra piece, because you could do a little circle there and pop it up. Nobody would be the wiser. All right, so let's see. I want to put this on the inside. Just like so. It's a pretty simple card. And I want to just color my little Martian guy. I'm only coloring the Martian, not the rest of the spacecraft on this inside. I think that looks fun. And then I'm going to pop this up. Okay, so let me show you the trick with the ribbon. Because it looks like I took some ribbon and went all the way around outside and tied it, but I really didn't do that. So I'll show you. And part of why I did that is because I punched my holes so close to the edge. I was like, man, if I try to tie anything on that, I'm going to rip it right out. Okay, so I've got my 2 holes punched, and then I found this oldie but goldie ribbon. Oh my gosh, this is light blue gingham. This has got to be from like 2003 or 4. I'm not a hoarder, am I? So what you're going to do is just tie a little knot like that and then cut it. And you're going to thread just that piece through. This is great. I mean, people say all the time, what am I going to do with like 10 inches of ribbon? Well, this is exactly what you do with it. Like that. And then I'm going to just put some tear and tape on the back to hold that in place. So now I've got my little bow. Isn't that a great tip? And then we'll do the same thing on this side. Okay, this ribbon used to come in red and creamy caramel and black, green, and the blue. And I probably have all of them except I'm not sure I have any more of the Mellow Moss one. That was a good, I really liked that little ribbon. I mean, we used the tools that we had, and that's what we had back then. We didn't have really embossing things like on the scale that we have now. So we did a lot of background stamping to texturize, and we thought that was the bomb. Oh, and that's cute. That's a great magnet. Yes, well, is there such thing as hoarding when it's crafting? I mean, I think not. I think it's called loving your stuff, right? So I'm just putting my dimensionals. I just want to make sure I've got this little ribbon held down, and we'll do that. And we'll peel off. So one of my goals with this series is also to keep the videos, you know, shorter than 45 minutes, trying to aim for a half an hour. I can tell tonight I'm going to be just over a half an hour, but we're almost done this card. I just want to have time to show you my other samples because they're so darn cute. So with that bigger greeting, I was like forced to have to put my thing up at the top, and I kind of wanted it more down towards the middle. So that's why I liked the little greeting. There. Isn't that fun? And you can do the Wink of Stella, you know, because we can. And I just winked up everything. I'm holding it funny because last night when I did it, it all ran out all over the place. So just to make sure it's not going to do that, if you hold your pen kind of tipping back, not so much runs to the tip. Okay, that is done. So there's my card, sketch number 2, and there's my sample, and then my other ones with this set. So you can, the sky is the limit. You can dress it up with embossing folders, different colors, keep using the background stamps. It really doesn't matter. And then here's a couple other cards that I made with the toy box set as well. So really cute, cute little boys set. All right. And I will say that I am going to sell the sets that I'm using on the Craft Your Stash. So if anybody's interested in my little toy box ones, I will give these 3 cards to you along with your set. And the set is going to be $10 plus shipping if I need to mail it. All right, so here's another card. Now this one is using the same exact layout. Let me bring my layout back in. The same exact layout. And the only difference is, well, a couple differences. This part here is all the same, only I used designer paper. But I had to change the size of my squares into rectangles to fit my little gift bags. And so when I did that, I cut the piece going across a little shorter so that they didn't all match up at the top. And then I just happened to stamp on some of the designer paper, and I flagged the ends. And that is using this Attention Shoppers, which is in our current catalog. And that is on page 65. Attention Shoppers. And it comes with dies that are really cute and makes the shopping wagon too. This set here makes a great gift card because, you know, shopping's always a good idea. You can fill it with wine, birthday cakes, some flowers, some packages. Treat yourself, just lends you to a gift card holder. So I like that set for that. Actually, we don't need to keep the sets in the look. And here's one that uses the same layout, again, using designer paper this time. And then this, I used the postage dies to cut my squares, and then they were a little bit and this was the same size, 1 3/4 by 5, but they were a little bit too, you know, like I felt like it needed another layer, so I just kept it the monotone and put in the peach pie in there and colored my little bumblebees with the peach pie. And then I took some Wink of Stella and just did the wings with the Wink of Stella. And same trick, using the black and vanilla gingham. Just tie a knot and tape it on the inside. And so there's that one. Same itty bitty greeting in the inside on that one. Okay, so that comes from Choose Happy. This one comes from Attention Shoppers. Choose Happy is in our book as well. That is on page 24. It's a really nice set with words and small figures. So you can do cute little things like that. It's perfect for tags too. And then here's another similar card that I pulled out of my bucket of cards that I made already. But look at, see, I kind of followed this with my strip and the postage dies. And then I didn't do this because that wasn't part of the layout. But isn't that, can you see how my sailboats would look great on here too? And in that toy box stamp, they have a sailboat, so you could actually do this card layout on this size square. So kind of neat, huh? And then the last one, this is a retired set too, from a couple years ago, A Fish and a Wish. I love that. But this one uses a die that cut this angle piece out. I forget what it's called. And so it's kind of the same design, only it's going the opposite direction. See, this one starts little and goes big. This one is little and big. But the reason I brought this out is to show you that your angle cut doesn't need to be kept on the horizontal. You can do it on the as a vertical card too. And see, that's using a die to cut that piece out. So the layout is a good one, easy, and you know what? If you do it with designer paper, you're using your designer paper, you know, which is always a good thing. So I hope you enjoyed Craft Your Stash episode 2. And if you give me just a few minutes, I will have the printout available on my website, backyardstamper.com. And I will see you here next week for another episode. And we don't know what we're going to pull out of the closet. The other thing is, sometime between tonight and next Thursday, I'm going to show you all my swaps that I got at the onstage, because they are really amazing. So there's my toy box ones. So thanks a lot for tuning in, and I hope to see you soon. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and like and share my video, because it really helps me. I'm over my 500, so now I'm aiming for 600 subscribers. So anything you can do to help is appreciated. I hope you all have a great night,